Our Town KC is brought to you by Video Communication Studios, provider of custom online video education and training. And now, Our Town KC. Hi everybody, I'm Pete Barrett and welcome to Our Town KC. Our guest today is a sports expert about the history of Kansas City sports. Matt Starr has a website and a story to tell. And thanks for joining us today, Matt.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you get interested in the subject of Kansas City sports history?
Well, I've been a lifelong sports fan my whole life, and Royals and Chiefs, and studying the nicknames of the teams. So a few years ago, the Kansas City Major League Soccer team awarded a new team to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So they had a name a team contest. And my family entered this contest. And who knows who's going to win this contest or not. So we all entered, and they called us and said, your daughter named the Kansas City Wizards. So who would believe that? I mean,
that's great.
It was very fascinating to win a contest. So I did some research. Why are the Royals named the Royals? Why are the Chiefs named the Chiefs?
That's a good question. I don't know the answers. I'm sure you do.
So each team has a unique kind of history as far as their nicknames. And I've gone back and studied all of baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and all Kansas City teams.
Yeah.
And what do they mean? So my website has that information on there. I found it fascinating also in the college teams and other sports too. Okay.
Now you've alluded to your website, and we're going to do this again, but I want you to tell the folks, what your website URL is.
It's www.allstarsports, and star has 2 R's.
Okay.
.com.
All right. So that's your website.
Right.
Now you're a history buff about Kansas City sports history. That probably goes back pretty far.
It does. Kansas City sports professional leagues go back to the 1880s with baseball. And football goes before the Chiefs. There was 2 NFL teams before the Kansas City Chiefs.
NFL teams?
Yes, right. The Kansas City Blues and the Kansas City Cowboys were here before the Kansas City Chiefs. So Kansas City had the Cowboys before the Dallas Cowboys.
What window of time are we talking about?
In the 1920s.
The 20s.
Yeah, they were very short teams and didn't last very long.
Wow.
But Kansas City's had hockey teams and basketball teams for many, many years.
So, obviously we all know about the Royals, and there's been other professional baseball teams.
Right. The professional baseball teams started in Kansas City with the Kansas City Unions in the Union League. They were like 1884. They lasted a few years. And then there were other teams, the Kansas City Cowboys, the Kansas City Blues.
So Cowboys was a name at one time.
Right. So Kansas City's had the name Cowboys for football and basketball and baseball. And Blues is the most popular nickname for Kansas City teams.
Really? What about Union? Why would they call themselves Union?
Well, it was a union league. So there was more than one team in the league called the Unions.
Okay. So, you're well versed in Kansas City sports history. Do you have any favorite stories about Kansas City? Things that we don't know? We know about the Pine Tar incident and all that stuff, but what about things that we haven't heard about? Things that are like, you're kidding me kind of
Well,
thing.
it's pretty interesting. In 1990 or 74 through 76, Kansas City was one of 8 cities that had all 4 major league teams: Major League Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey. Only 8 cities in the United States had all 4, and Kansas City was one of them.
Really?
With the Scouts, the Kings, the Chiefs, and the Royals. So that's a pretty big deal.
What other stories are out there that people just be amazed by?
Well, there's a lot of nicknames that have changed over the years. New franchise come to town. The Cincinnati Royals changed their name to the Kansas City Kings, not to be confused with the Kansas City Royals.
Now, sports obviously has been a factor in the city for like a long time. What kind of impact does having a professional sports team have on a community?
Well, major impact financially and other means too. You think about this last year, the Kansas City Royals. Everybody are friends, they're Royals friends across the whole country. And I've heard crime even went down for a period of time during the playoffs. So the city is very enthusiastic, very motivated, and it's very well for the community in general.
I know so many people watch the Royals who had never even watched a baseball game before, and it was just a wonderful feeling to be a part of that. And I'm sure it made a number of true believers,
Right.
out of folks who weren't necessarily aligned with baseball, and actually wanted to get, something else to grab onto, except for, other than 1985.
Right. Yeah, you can feel the buzz in the whole city, and the whole excitement is everywhere. It's really contagious.
So you're a historian. Tell me about your website. What do people find on that website?
Well, the website's got the meetings of all the Kansas City sports teams. I've got a timeline going from the 1880s. I list every year what team played in Kansas City, in addition to what significant events happened in Kansas City, both sports and non-sports. For example, 1914, Union Station was started.
Yeah.
Back then, Kansas City had two sports teams, the Kansas City Packers, part of the Federal League, and the Kansas City Blues. So a lot of interesting things to kind of follow a timeline and to see who was president, what team was here in Kansas City. Some teams didn't last very long at all. So it's kind of a good way to look back and see that.
Matt, how do you think local professional sports has impacted our community?
A great financial impact and other means to improve the community. Think about the impact of the Kansas City Royals this past fall.
Amazing.
And how positive the city got. You felt the buzz of the whole community. Everybody were friends. Royals brought everybody together. And so big financial impact and also a social impact as far as people getting along and perhaps crime going down for a short period of time. Very, very positive impacts on the city. So hopefully we'll see that again.
Now you're working on, you've got a website, you've got a Facebook page. What are you doing in the future? What's your future projects look like?
I would like to explore more of the lost records, information hard to get on the Kansas City Monarchs. The Negro Leagues didn't have record keeping like today's baseball, so it's very hard to find. Very powerful stories. It's a man that made a lot of records that are unknown. So how do you find that? So that's my main goal, is to try to find more of that.
Well, the Monarchs are a fascinating story.
Right.
And Buck O'Neil, such a representative of that whole era in baseball history, and advocate for Kansas City. I think that there's a lot of stories to be told there.
So I try to preserve the rich history of Kansas City sports by my website. If we don't save it, it's lost and forgotten. Most of today's people think about today's Royals, today's Chiefs. What happened in the past? What was so important here? The Kansas City's important sports town and all the connections. So by saving that, future generations can know that and respect that.
And what was that website again?
It's All Star Sports and stars, two R's, .com.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much for being with us, Mark. And I appreciate you coming by.
Okay.
And thanks for watching Our Town KC. We'll see you next time.